Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you for watching. I posted a short video yesterday. Now we have a kind of long one, but it's the Tunguska event. And I've tried to find this before on that software I use, but it was really hard, and looking at it again, it just goes right over Tartaria. I mean, obviously we knew that, but they try to tell us that this Tunguska event was out in the middle of nowhere. But that, if you look at that map again, the Tartaria map, look at all those towns everywhere. We'll zoom in a little bit, but it's a pretty good representation for how old this map is. But they say that Tunguska event was out in the middle of nowhere where there is no civilization. But I'm seeing all these houses everywhere. All those buildings with steeples all over the rivers. And yes, most definitely there's probably a lot of swaths of land in between all those towns that don't have any civilization, like the green parts where there's trees. That's probably where Tunguska was. But they say it just looks pretty civilized. I want to maybe there's a lot of population there. Maybe compared to what there is now. Maybe now there's not a lot of people there because they blew everything up. And I'm not saying that Tunguska was a massive bomb to cover up a bunch of old Tartaria buildings, because the very few photos that we see of this event, the aftermath, all we see are trees blown like this. And this wasn't like a typical meteor, there's no rock in the ground. And also, apparently, it exploded before it hit the ground. So, it apparently caused this. This is the blast radius from right around it. This is from right on the edge. And yeah, I mean, I see no civilization there. I see no remnants of any town. But for how big this explosion was, like the two circles are the two meteorite explosions that happened in Russia back in the early, I don't remember where the CM one was. I think it was 18 something. Could be wrong, but all right, let's see what Google Earth gives us. And State Nature Reserve, of course, that's what they do with all these locations. And it doesn't really look like a traditional meteor hit impact. I see some photos where there's like a perfect circle of green grass or with no trees, and I really have seen no perfect circle over here. So maybe some of these photos have been mistaken. This Lake Checo is I haven't looked into it. I just heard that it was mysterious and it was possibly created by the explosion. But that's where we will be taking off to explore the land so that we don't have to fly very far. And so now, speaking of flying very far, there is our location point, our takeoff point. And we are going to see where the closest airport is, like major airport, because I like to do that. In order to get a real sense of how far these locations are, I like to take off from the closest airport. That way you really understand how far out this place is. And now normally on this software that I use, there'll be like some sort of pinpoint or notification where, like that dot on the bottom, little crosshair thing, that is the closest major airport that this game recognizes, that Russia allowed them to use. But look at that. That is an hour and a half away by helicopter going like maybe like 100 miles an hour, possibly something like that. So you're talking about a couple hundred miles away at least, and there's no other pinpoint notification thing to show you where there's just literally no there's no airports around here. Everything's just been completely demolished, completely erased. It takes an hour and a half by helicopter. So let's take a look at let's do this Russian MiG here. Let's see how long that takes. That takes 41 minutes. Jeez. 41. So no thank you. I think we're going to do a custom departure. And we're going to go ahead and, let's switch back to our helicopter for the tour. We're definitely using the helicopter, and we're going to use our original location starting point, which was that Lake Checo. So now we got the proper aircraft. Let's get the right livery. We got to get the right paint job. And I think we're going to use I think we're going to use the United States Army on this one. Where is it at? I thought there was some sort of Russian one in here. Like they use a lot of different real paint jobs, but this one we're using is the Army. So, all right. Well, I really have no information to give you other than what either you already know or that you can find on YouTube that will better explain this whole thing. Because honestly, I just enjoy the terrain. Like, it just looks, and this is actually real-time weather too. So this is how it would be right now. And I just love looking at the terrain and these weird events, these weird places, because honestly, I mean, it's just another YouTube video. You're like, oh wow, out in the middle of nowhere, cool. You know, a big meteor that exploded, awesome. But look at this, you're not able to see everything like how you are with me, Tartarian Airlines. So I appreciate everyone for watching, and I hope, well, if you're watching, then that means you enjoy the terrain also. And I want to let you know too that I won't be doing these like behind the camera audio things. I'm going to go ahead and start doing a picture-in-picture with me in it too. So this will be the last one I do like this. So for now, I have nothing else to say, but just enjoy the flight.